It is your first year as an athletic
Mhm.
director. Is there anything that's maybe taking you back or taking you by surprise about the role and this job?
No surprises. So, one of the things that I learned very early on is to expect the unexpected. As a deputy AD for 5 years, you kind of get the AD feel, in terms of the work.
Mhm.
In terms of dealing with the administration, obviously there's some politics involved. Obviously there's some handshaking. There's all of those things, and so I'm not surprised one bit. But I'll tell you what else I'm not surprised with. I'm not surprised when I got here. I knew that this would be a very passionate fan base. I knew that the fan base would hold you accountable. I knew that the fan base would be available, when called upon. Those things have remained 100% true. And so, again, with that power comes that responsibility, right? And so, definitely just a pleasure for me and my family to be here. And going back again, more of a pleasure to be able to represent, such an esteemed institution with such outstanding leadership, from the UL system and President Henderson all the way down to President Gallo and his administration. So nothing but great things so far. Looking forward to great things ahead.
I've heard that you're a big ideas
I
guy,
am.
which means sometimes even sending texts at maybe 3 a.m. in the morning to some of your staff
I
members
do.
with those ideas. Is it always just Grambling athletics on the brain?
So about 75% of the time, it's funny because when I get home, I'm pop, right? It's Grambling athletics a good amount of the time. And when we go to other institutions, when the staff kind of immerses themselves together and sort of forms a think tank, if you will. The first thing I told President Gallo when I got here, I said, "You told me to think big." And he said, "Great, now think bigger." Right, and we've got an opportunity here to do that with such a transformational leader at the helm within the president's office. And so, I want to be a reflection of him and his big goals and his big dreams and his big ideas. And I want to be able to not just have big ideas, but to be able to effectively, strategically plan and implement those ideas, policies, processes, and procedures.
I've witnessed you, I think, have some of those ideas, whether it be here at Eddie G. Robinson Stadium or on the road. I see you looking around. I see you pointing things out to your staff, maybe that you like or don't like that you want to implement here. Are you always thinking, how can we improve and how can we make the fan experience better for our fans and for our student athletes?
Absolutely, that's the goal. Our fans, our stakeholders, our alums, they deserve our best effort. And sometimes you have to borrow things from other institutions. Sometimes you have to create your own. I think, what you do at your institution is the best fit for your institution. So what may work somewhere else may not work here. But a variation or a piece of maybe something that we bring from somewhere else may work here. We've got to be able to retrofit those ideas, for Grambling State and for the betterment of Grambling State and Grambling State athletics. I'll tell you this though. We look to have a marked change from year one to year two, and we're not even halfway done with year one. And the way I learned this many years ago is that when you first walk into a situation, go in with open eyes and ears, right, with an open mindset, because it's not always broken. It's a lot of things here that are spot on correct, but also you have to approach it almost like you're putting, like you're filling up a bucket. You're just trying to find where the holes are. You don't necessarily have to tip the bucket over. There's a lot of great things going on our campus, and we've been able now to capitalize and accentuate those things, while also making corrections and adjustments for those things that we see fit to be able to correct and adjust. So, very exciting time. And just taking it all in to the point to where we could, try to make it better moving forward.